There are two things also I think that's just not it's not singing my praises. It's just what somebody in the media telling a story does, as long as they tell it accurately. One is it makes it real somehow for soldiers. The idea, you know, sometimes I think they come back and it's like it's otherworldly, and they're in a Starbucks and somebody's yelling about not enough foam on their latte, and they can't even believe that this is the experience in front of them, and did that really even just happen, what I went through in Afghanistan? And a book or even an article or whatever makes it real. And then also before, one of the staff sergeants in the book, Clint Romeshay, was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Obama, but before that happened, the book launch in November and some of the book tour allowed people an opportunity to reunite that they didn't have before. The Army doesn't stage reunions for troops who have gone through a traumatic experience. The Army doesn't, like, and I don't even necessarily fault the Army for that. I mean, they can't. They don't have the ability to do that. But it created a safe space where people could come together, purportedly for the purposes of the book, but really to see each other, to reunite. And it's been especially helpful, I think, for the Gold Star families, the people who lost a son or a husband. And that's not to say that this book is so amazing because of that, but the idea that the more media attention can happen for our troops, the more there can be some healing, I think.
Right, I think that's true. And don't get me wrong, it's not all singing praises. There were things in the book that I didn't like. I didn't want to see in there. Same with my soldiers or their spouses or parents. And we fought Jake about it. You know, we said, no, this shouldn't be in the book. At the end of the day, we probably lost many more of those battles than we won with Jake, but everything in the book is factual, right? And so what does that mean? Well, there's a double-edged sword here. On one hand, telling the story can be painful, as if you're ripping off a scab. However, on the other, it's a very cathartic experience that has actually, in my opinion, allowed for a lot more healing because it's been made public. It is now out there. We can talk about it. It's safe to talk about. And so I think at the end of the day, regardless of how you may or may not like one particular fact or another, on the whole, it's been a very positive outflow of support between the troopers that are featured in the book.
The fact that I portray troops, men and women, but mainly men, as real human beings with flaws, who make mistakes, who in some cases didn't have great exemplary personal lives, etc., I think it makes it more real for people.
You know, and that same exact approach carries over perfectly with my experiences here at Dartmouth. You know, me and some friends got together and founded, under the leadership of a fellow graduate student, Ron Bucca, the Dartmouth Graduate Veterans Association, and use that same approach of connecting the Dartmouth community with people who they go to school with or who they serve with on the faculty or administration who also happen to be veterans, and using that platform to speak to the greater Dartmouth community of, hey, we're here, we're around, here's what we've done. It doesn't mean we're any more special than any other service or any other organization you can be in. It's just a matter of having a voice. And I think it's giving voice by approaching stories to put people in touch with the human side of what it is that we do. It's not all about pulling triggers. In many cases, it's about just helping your fellow man get to the next hill.
So my father wanted me to mention that the book, of course, is The Outpost, An Untold Story of American Valor. And if you don't read the whole thing, you should at least read chapter 28, Send Me, which is about Captain Stoney Portis, who it says could have been a character straight out of one of the books written by his dad's cousin, Charles Portis, author of True Grit. So chapter 28, at the very least, recommended in this book. Thanks.
Thank you.